Hello everyone, welcome back to Believer Science Academy. This is everyday news analysis session. In today, that is 6th December 2024, I have taken up some 6 to 7 articles from various newspaper which we will be discussing today. Those articles are very important from both UPSC prelims as well as mains perspective. Do note down important points I am telling in the classes. Do note down important facts which I will be telling in the session. Okay, so in today's session, the first article is from the Hindu text and context. It is talking about the article name is the caste census a useful exercise? Okay, so the article is weighing down the advantages and disadvantages or arguments in favor and arguments in against caste census in India. So caste census says that what is caste census? Caste census in India, analyzing its potential benefits, limitations and broader implications. Below is a detailed summary of the articles. These articles, there is a summary of these articles. So what is historical background of caste census in India? Okay, the first caste census in India dates back to late 19th century with the last detailed exercise conducted in 1931. Okay, and then in the 1931 census categorized individuals into castes and communities with arbitrary classification like Khatri or Vaisya, Brahmin or Vaisya. Okay, so it was basically based on Vedic differentiation of caste such as Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra. It was initially made by Britishers. So instead of going into deep caste censuses, they just did the caste census on the outset itself. Okay, based on this Vedic Varnashrama. And then in post-independence, India abandoned the caste enumeration in population census due to the complexity and political sensitivities involved. Okay, so in 1931 census, we used to have a column called as caste. How many people belong to particular caste? But post independence, that caste census was dropped because it was very complex. Because there are n number of actually more than 498 castes are present in India, and that is very more. If you consider tribes, it will become more than 1,000 again. Okay, so it was very complex, and again there are complex political sensitivities. It was that during the independence period, India was going through reservation. Okay, India was going through the phase of reservation as per the B.R. Ambedkar's constitutional safeguards. Okay, the political society was kind of tense. Okay, it was not sensitive. That is why you're considering the sensitivities. They are not considered. Then, what is the purpose and the proponents' arguments? Why people argue that caste census should be held? Okay, recently there was a caste census in Bihar. They said that it was very successful and that is why it needs to be held. So, what are the arguments? Why do you need caste census? Is there necessity? People say that it is necessity because a caste census will determine the population sizes of various castes, aiding in proportional representation in jobs, education, and other socio-economic benefits. This is very important. If you have the caste censuses, you can also analyze the jobs they hold, analyze the education status of the particular caste. If there are certain castes whose communities or the communities belong to particular caste are lower in number in terms of jobs or lower in number in terms of education or graduation, those kind of castes can be given special preferences such as reservation. And then it will provide accurate data to address caste based inequalities and improve the targeting of reservations. Okay, this is the main contentious point here. Okay, there is reservation. Okay, reservation is broadly based on SC, ST, OBC. Okay, within the OBC there is no subcategorization. Within the SC there is no reservation subcategorization. Within the ST there is no subcategorization. So what happens here is there is reservation provided for these communities and these caste SC, ST and OBC. The reservation provided for these castes only the most of the topmost layer of the caste. Okay, within the SCs, within the OBCs, within the STs, there are some communities. Okay, there are some communities who are reaping the benefits out of this. Who are the communities who are continuously reaping the benefits out of it? Okay, many generations they are reaping the benefits out of it, and they are not able to transfer it to other communities. Okay, so if we have a caste census, now that within the SCs, within the OBCs, you are going to get some caste who are underrepresented, who are less represented. Those kind of caste can be provided reservation, and the caste or communities who have already reaped the benefits of reservation can be taken out of the reservation system. But people who are taking the reservation, people who are enjoying the reservation benefits, they don't want to subcategorization of caste. Okay, and then What are the challenges conducted in caste census? First and foremost is complexity in classification. That is, many castes have evolved or changed their identities since 1931 census. It is complicating the categorization process. And then example, communities like Sonar, which were classified as OBC in some states and general in other states, create inconsistencies. This is very important point. There are some communities or some castes, they are considered as OBCs in one caste, one state, they are considered as general in other state. Okay, it creates kind of complexity in classifying this caste. Then difficulties in data accuracy. That is, respondents often self-report caste in a manner that they reflect aspirations or political motives rather than the factual accuracy. They try to align themselves with the political motives instead of giving the accurate data regarding the caste. They tend to align themselves with the political ideology. Then they will tend to give wrong wrong data, which is defeating the census purpose. This could lead to misclassification and unreliable data. Okay, so what is the use of census if the data is not accurate? Okay, so it is defeating the purpose of census. Then proportional representation formula challenges. Okay, assigning reservation quotas proportionately based on the population size could create mathematical challenges, particularly for smaller castes. For instance, a hypothetical caste constituting 0.0005% of the population would require 2.3 billion people to secure one reserved position for them. Okay, so this is the mathematics are very too much here. So that is that will also a challenge here. So in this article, there are some key issues which are being highlighted. These are flaws in proportional representation. That is, reservation quotas based on caste populations could be impractical and regressive, which in turn favors only one dominant or politically influenced caste. Then the article provides examples of smaller castes that to struggle to gain representation even with proportional system. Okay, there are some castes whose population is only up to 1 lakh or 2 lakh. What is the percentage of 1 lakh or 2 lakh in among 1.9, 1.45 billion people? It will be around 0.00 something. So if the 0.00 something is there, if they will be having only one reserved seat for them. So if there is 1 lakh people and there is only one reserved seat, then how are they properly represented there? Okay, their representation is not proper there. Then it will also have impact on reservation system. The current system of reserved categories risks being undermined as new caste demands could lead to further fragmentation and inequality or inequity in allocation. Okay, within the what is the basis of reservation? Reservation is socio-economic development, not economic, social development. Okay, social development of certain communities, but economically weaker section category or reservation was provided for economic development. Now if you are going to subcategories among the caste itself, then it is going to break the unity among the caste. Okay, already like Indian society is broken based on the religion, broken based on the caste within the religion. Now if you are going to make reservations or classification within the particular caste, then it is going to break the unity in caste also. You are going to break the caste unity also. Then it is also going to have socio-political ramifications. That is, a caste census could lead to heightened caste consciousness, potentially increasing social divisions rather than fostering inclusivity. What is I have already explained to you. Therefore, conclusion here is the article concludes that while a caste census may address certain socio-economic inequalities, it represents significant challenges in implementation and data accuracy. It risks entrenching caste-based divisions, complicating reservation policies, and creating administrative inefficiencies. Therefore, though caste census is necessary, is required in the future, at present it is not feasible. Even if you are going to make a caste census, all these challenges should be addressed beforehand only, and then only then can the caste census be carried out. Then next article. So the others also argued that economic and merit-based criteria should replace the caste-centric approaches in reservation, emphasizing on inclusivity and equity across all the social groups. So they are saying that it is not the caste system that should be the basis of reservation, but it is the economy and merit-based criteria that should be the basis for reservation. Okay, even among the general, even among the general, there are certain families, there are certain people who belong to lower strata of the lower strata of the community, and even though they are meritorious, even though they are meritorious, but because of their financial constraint, they are not able to gain access to education and etc. So those kind of people who are deserving, even among the general communities, if they are meritorious, if their economic conditions is below, this should be the criteria for providing reservations. That is what others argue here. Then another second article, this is very important: martial law in South Korea, reasons, explanation and causes. There is an explained article in the Hindu, excuse me, article in the Indian Express, which explained the reasons behind martial law which is declared in South Korea, reasons and explanation and the causes behind it, and what are the implications. So what is the news here is, it is a global news right now. Okay, many of the Indian newspapers are not covering it at a stretch, but most of the Western papers or global papers are covering it at a very stretch, because martial law was declared in South Korea on December 3, 2024 by President Yoon Suk Yeol. He is the president of South Korea amid escalating political tensions. This is the first instance of martial law in the country in over 40 years. In over 40 years, like before 40 years, there was a war between South Korea and North Korea. During that time, there were emergencies announced. But now, after 40 years, even though there is no war present, the emergency has been, or martial law has been imposed in South Korea. So this shows that South Korea is going through some kind of political turmoil there. Then the declaration followed a significant political challenges, including opposition's attempt to impeach the president and disputes over national budget, which paralyzed the governance. Even accused the opposition of anti-state activities that threatened national security and stability. Okay, so first we'll understand what is martial law, and then we'll see what are the reasons behind this martial law. First one is, martial law is a temporary state of emergency which is declared by the government to address unexpected threats and crises within the country. Okay, under martial law, military authorities take over civil administration and take over the responsibility of law and order. This includes curfews, restrictions of freedoms, and direct military involvement in the public safety. Okay, in a simple way, martial law is nothing but rule by the military. The government, okay, government of a particular country, if it feels that there is threat to its sovereignty, if it feels that there is a threat of internal aggression, if it feels that there is threat of internal armed rebellion, okay, if it feels that there are situations have arisen that the government cannot be carried out in a normal way, in those conditions, government is going to request the military that military please come and help me in running the government. In that time, military is going to help the running government there. So the rule by the military under the leadership of government is military or martial law. And there are certain extraordinary cases where this government will be overthrown by the military government or military rule. That is called as coup or coup d'etat. Okay, legitimate government being overthrown by the military is called as coup. Okay, this is what happened in Myanmar. Military junta, what it did is, it overthrew the democratically elected government. Okay, but in martial law, they are going to support the government in running the administration, and whatever the actions taken by the military during that martial law, they will be indemnified by the government. Okay, so I am going to kill this person because he is a threat to law and justice, law and order of the country. Okay, you killed him, fine, you will be indemnified by the government, indemnified the law, because you did that so that you can maintain law and order. Okay, all the actions taken by the military will be indemnified during the martial law. It is the same case in India also. That martial law is usually put into force during the time of unrest, natural disasters, or threats of invasion. Martial law is one of the last measures of resort in the cases of such emergencies. Okay, and then what are the reasons behind martial law in South Korea? So the reasons are, first and foremost is, there is a political crisis. The administration faced an impeachment motion from the opposition, creating a deadlock in the governance. What is impeachment motion? A impeachment motion is aimed at removing the president in government. Okay, if the motion is there which is introduced to impeach, what is impeach? Impeach is removing the president from his position. So there was an impeachment motion in the South Korea, which was not completely passed. It resulted in deadlock. And then legislative gridlock. That is, there were disputes over national budget of 677 trillion won, exacerbated the tensions with opposition parties demanding substantial cuts. Okay, so this national budget was not allowed to pass through. Okay, if the budget is not allowed to pass through, it one or the other way means that the government doesn't hold the majority there. Government doesn't command the majority. So it also created deadlock. And then alleged anti-state activities. That is, even alleged that the opposition controlled actions were undermining the government authority. Okay, this Yoon, he is the president of South Korea. He argued that most of the politicians in South Korea are being influenced by Russia or being influenced by North Korea. So there is a need for martial law in South Korea. Then, so if the martial law is there in martial law is implemented, what are the restrictions under martial law? So currently, these are the restrictions under martial law. That is, access to parliament. That is, members of parliament are prohibited from entering the permanent building, and military has banned all the political activities across the country, and all political protests and public gatherings are now forbidden. Media control. That is, military has assumed the control over media and publishing our activities nationwide. Strikes and walkouts. That is, strikes and walkouts have been declared illegal. Then military checkpoints may restrict movement, especially in high-risk regions. So all these activities are banned in South Korea right now. But today's news, okay, on 6th December 2024, what happened here is the impeachment motion was through and the martial law was abolished in South Korea, because people of South Korea, they started marching in the Seoul, that is capital of South Korea, and they started fighting against the government. And in a twist of turns, military decided to support the people instead of government. Military said, government, whatever you're trying to do, it is against the law. Okay, it is against the law. So you have to abide by the law. You have to abide by the South Korean constitution. And so now, stop this martial law. Stop this martial law and go through the parliamentary proceedings. Go through the constitutional proceedings. Now, after the constitutional proceedings, the president of South Korea has been impeached. Okay, now the new elections will be held, or whatever the process is there, that will be continued. So after this, what were the implications of martial law? That is, political impact is that declaration has triggered fears of regression to authoritarianism, evoking the military memories of South Korea's military rule before its democratization in 1987. Both South Korea and North Korea of Korean Peninsula were initially ruled by dictators. Who were these dictators? They were the heads of military. So both the countries were under the military rule. But in 1987, after the Korea War, South Korea became a democratic country and it adopted capital form of government. North Korea became a dictatorship government and it adopted communist form of government. So now South Korea is considered more developed, more advanced, whereas North Korea is considered regressive. Then economic fallout. The stock market reacted negatively, with indices dropping 2% and Korean won hitting a 2-year low. This emergency stabilization measures were implemented to manage the financial fallout. Okay, I already told you about sterilization in previous question analysis. What is sterilization? Sterilization is if there is high inflation, if there is more money at the hands of people, if the inflation is beyond certain limit, then the government central bank, for example RBI in India, maybe the Federal Bank of Korea, is going to bring certain sterilization measures so that it is going to suck out the money from market, which will reduce the inflation. Then social backlash, that is, I already explained you. Public outrage over the declaration, including the fears of repression, has sparked protests and comparisons of past military crackdowns such as 1980 Gwangju uprising. So this is a famous uprising in South Korea where people rose against the military, which resulted in a massacre. That is secondary. But at present now, if you see the images of South Korea, Seoul, that is the capital of South Korea, you can see millions of people coming onto the street of Korea and protesting against government. But now that has stopped because the president has been removed. Then now from geographical perspective, where is South Korea? South Korea is present in Korean Peninsula. Okay, this is the Korean Peninsula. North of it is North Korea, South Korea, and it is surrounded by Yellow Sea, Sea of Japan, South China Sea. Okay, so now location. It is present in East Asia, forming the southern half of Korean Peninsula. Capital city is Seoul. Governance, it is a president form of governance. Neighbors are land border, only shares a land border with North Korea. Maritime border, it shares with Yellow Sea in the west, Sea of Japan in the east, East China Sea in the south. East China Sea in the south. Then the major rivers of South Korea are Han River, which flows through Seoul, and Nakong River, the longest river of the country. Korea is a small country. It is at the size of Karnataka, even the lesser size than Karnataka. Even then, these are the two important rivers there. Okay, and there is a demilitarized zone, that is 250-kilometer long buffer zone established between North Korea and South Korea post Korean War. Okay, demilitarization zone. And 38 parallel line, it divides North Korea from South Korea. It forms as a border between North and South Korea prior to the Korean War. Then Iceland's in news is Pyong Island, which is present in the near the maritime border of the North Korea, has faced military tensions, including North Korean artillery fires and evacuations. So these things are always present in South China and East China Sea. You have to remember these islands. Okay, whether these islands belong to China, or whether these islands belong to Japan, or whether these islands are under the dispute between China and Russia, Japan and Russia, China and Japan, China and Philippines. All these islands should be remembered, because those questions can be match the following type of questions can be asked in UPSC prelims. So martial law was lifted within 24 hours of political pressures. The situation has left South Korea in precarious state with ongoing risks of political stability and economic. Already explained this one. So it is about South Korea, and then there is prelims perspective questions. Article which is present PAB. This talks about PM Surya Ghar Muft Bijli Yojana. What is PM Surya Ghar Muft Bijli Yojana? Around 1.45 crore registrations have been made under PM Surya Ghar Muft Bijli Yojana, and 6.34 lakh installations have been completed. Parliament was informed recently about PM Ghar Mufti Bijli Yojana. PM Ghar Mufti Bijli Yojana is a government scheme launched on February 15, 2024, which aims to provide free electricity to households in India. Okay, provides to free electricity to households in India. Under this scheme, households will be provided with a subsidy to install solar panels on their roofs. Okay, we will provide a subsidy. Using that subsidy, buy solar panel and install it on your house, install it on your roof, and with that solar power, you can use it to run your house. Subsidy will cover up to 40% of the cost of solar panels. It would help 1 crore families to get up to 300 units of free electricity per month, which is about saving rupees 18,000 annually. Okay, 300 units of free electricity per month. It is estimated that the scheme will save government rupees 75,000 crore per year in electricity cost. Very important and ambitious project of Government of India. The scheme has an outlay of 75,021 crore, is implemented till financial year 26-27. The benefits of the schemes include for the households, it is the free electricity, and for the government, it is the reduced electricity cost, and in environment, it is going to increase the use of renewable energy and reduce the fossil fuels, and for environment, it is reducing the carbon emissions. And who are eligible to avail this scheme or avail the subsidy? That is, the household must be an Indian citizen. The household must own a house with a rooftop that is suitable for installing solar panels. The household must have a valid electricity connection. The household must not have availed any other subsidy for solar panels. Under the scheme, DISCOMs are designated as state implementation agencies, which are responsible for facilitating various measures, including net meter availability, timely inspection, and commissioning of installations. This is about the scheme, that is Ghar Muft Bijli Yojana. Ghar Surya Ghar Muft Bijli Yojana. Okay. Then after this, okay, so another part is DISCOMs will receive incentives based on their achievement in the installation of additional grid connected rooftop solar capacity beyond the baseline levels. So based on the performance of DISCOMs, they are going to receive incentives from the government also. And the total financial outlay of the incentives to DISCOMs component is around 4,950 crore. Out of the total outlay for this scheme, this 4,500 or 5,000 crore is kept for the incentivization discounts. Okay, it is only with the support of discounts that people will tend to install more solar capacities or solar panels. Okay, so that is why in order to encourage discounts, incentive has been given. Then there was an article in the Hindu which dealt with Scheduled Caste and Scheduled Tribes Prevention of Atrocities Act of 1989. The news is the Union government recently told the Lok Sabha that growing awareness, wider publicity, and capacity building of the police personnel were among the reasons for increasing number of cases being registered under the Scheduled Caste and Scheduled Tribes Act. Okay, more cases are being registered under this act. The reasons, according to Parliament, is more growing awareness, wider publicity, and capacity building of public personnels, police personnel. So now about this act, what is the purpose of this act? Aim is to protection of rights, designed to prevent atrocities and offences against the vulnerable sections of STs and SCs. There is punishment for perpetrators, that is, it provides penalties for those committing crimes against SCs, STs, which ensuring the justice implementation. This act is implemented by state governments and union territories with the central assistance. And what are the key provisions? It makes atrocities against STs and SCs as a cognizable offence. That is, the act identifies 37 offences such as denial of social and economic rights, abuse of the legal system, which is aimed at degrading SC/ST community. Cognizable offence in a sense, you won't get any bail for this one. Then, investigation process. Investigation will be conducted by officers of at least the rank of Deputy Superintendent of Police, that is DSP. The investigation should be completed within 30 days with report submitted to state police directors. And there will be special courts which are established for speedy trials with the day-to-day hearings. Each special court is supported by special public prosecutor. Then, what are the punishments provided under ST Act? That is, minimum of 6 months of imprisonment, maximum of life imprisonment or death penalty for severe offences. Like severe offences such as any offence which will lead to homicide, okay, or culpable homicide, meaning death of a person, or considered as a murder or rape or any grievous offences, neglect by the public servants. Up to 6 months of imprisonment for officials failing to perform duties under this act. Okay. Then immediate relief to the victims. That is, district magistrate or executive magistrate are responsible for providing immediate assistance to the victims and families. Then the relief includes cash aid, food, shelter, medical care, and other essential supplies under 1995 rules. What is the significance of increasing cases? Significance is that the awareness and training is increasing. As a result, more number of people are able to charge a complaint against atrocities, and even the training personnel, because of the increase in training of the police personnel, they are also able to handle these cases more efficiently. As a result, more cases are being submitted and charged. Then Article 5, small article, it is about Ghar Chola Sari. Okay, present in PIB. Recently, Gujarat's Ghar Chola saris received geographical indication tag. So, what we have to understand is, what is Ghar Chola saris? Ghar Chola saris is one of the finest bandhani work of Gujarat. So, about Ghar Chola saris, it is also known as Ghat Chola or Ghar Cholu, which has the finest bandhani work of Gujarat. It is traditionally been used for years in Gujarati weddings. The name Ghar Chola means outfit for home, which symbolizes a newly wedded bride joining the new home. Okay, that is why it is mostly used in weddings. Then what are the features? It is woven on a cotton or silk fabric in large checks of using silk and jari threads. This is further colored in bandhani or tie and dye technique. These checkered patterns are filled with small golden motifs or peacocks, lotus, human figures, etc., etc. These are traditionally crafted on auspicious colors such as red, maroon, green, and yellow, which hold special significance in Hindu customs. A Ghar Chola sari with the 12 squares is known as Bar Bhag, while with the one with the 52 squares is known as Bavan Bhag. Not necessary, just have a know about this one. The designs are often incorporated symbols of fertility and prosperity, such as kalash and pan. In recent times, weavers are infusing modern designs and techniques into their garcholas, blending traditions with contemporary appeal. Okay, and this is the 27th GI tag of Gujarat which has been received. Okay, so what is GI tag? GI tag is geographical indication tag. It is a sign used on products that have a specific geographical origin and possesses qualities or reputation due to that origin. Okay, they possess certain qualities because of its geography. That is why they are called as geographical indicator tag. It serves as a certification that the product adheres to certain standards associated with the location. GI tags are crucial for protecting the intellectual property rights of goods, especially traditional and regional products like Darjeeling tea or Mysore silk. So total GI tags in India, as of 2024, there have been more than 460 GI tags have been granted in India. These cover the range of products including agriculture goods. For example, of agricultural goods, you can talk about Arabica, Arabica coffee. Okay, Arabica coffee of Karnataka or Kerala. And handicrafts, you can also talk about Channapatna toys. Okay, Channapatna toys, manufactured items and food products. In food products, you can talk about Mysore pak of Mysore. These all items have received geographical indication tag. Then the state with most GI tags is Uttar Pradesh, holds the record of highest number of tags in India, with prominent items like Banarasi silk, Lucknow chicken craft, Allahabad surka gawa, etc. etc. Following it is Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, and Kerala also feature prominently in this line. So these are the articles which I intended to discuss in today's session. If you have any doubts regarding the session, do ask in the comment box. If you feel like you understood something or you gained something out of the session, do like the video and also comment on it and also share with your friends. With this, I will end the session. Jai Hind.